It's no surprise that we're living in intense times right now, especially as believers, as we're seeing the persecution of Christians in Nigeria and Syria and the Congo, just globally, but also nationally, as we're seeing an increase of attacks against the body, against the church here in America, even just in the past few weeks. Now, I'm sure you're aware, but just a few days ago, there was yet another mass shooting at a church in Michigan. Now, I'm not here to discuss the differences in doctrine or in denomination as it pertains to the Church of Latter-day Saints, but if it bleeds, it leads. And so many times we can discuss a story, a tragedy for a day or two, and then move on to the next thing and never circle back. But I just wanted to shed a little bit of light on a development in this story that I've not heard very many people talk about or discuss. But the Church of Latter-day Saints has just in the past few days raised more than $300,000 for the suspect's family. Now, there's a separate fund that's being raised for the victims of this mass shooting, but we can oftentimes forget the fact that the suspect, that the shooter, also makes a victim of his family, as he left behind a widow and a child with special needs. Now, like I said, I'm not here to discuss the differences in doctrine or in denomination, but this is what the gospel looks like in action. This is what forgiveness looks like. This is what taking care of the least of these, taking care of the widow or the orphan looks like. This is what loving your enemy and praying for those that persecute you looks like, even in the face of their own suffering and mourning. Now, if I'm just being completely honest, I see more fruit of the gospel in their response and in their reaction to this tragedy than I'm seeing in the body of Christ in general, as there's so much division and so much sowing of discord. And as we're arguing over the definitions of what a martyr of the faith is or Christian nationalism, as a house divided against itself cannot stand. Now, I don't want to make this about that, but I just wanted to shed a little bit of a light on such a beautiful development in such a dark story, a dark tragedy.